have done in Pakistan, that's mostly through the single competitive bidding process, so that we can reduce the cost and the transparency is more evident. Further, what Pakistan is planning, as Minister was also saying, that we are opening up the wholesale electricity market in May this year, 2 months from now. Although initially it will be at a limited scale, but we will be starting the wholesale market to bring in the efficiency in the market and reduce the price. Similarly, the policy also aims at development of local manufacturing facilities for the ARE equipment and enable private sector investment and participation in on-grid and off-grid ARE projects. So along with the on-grid projects, we are also looking at and we are encouraging the off-grid small solar power projects or B2B transaction in the ARE policy. Next slide. The policy set the targets of taking the current 5% share of renewable energy to 30% by 2030. Indicative generation expansion plan, which has been approved last year. So that sets the wind important goal of the policy. Development of ARE projects with the active participation of provinces and the mini and microgrid and B2B transaction and captive projects. So they are all part of the policy. Next slide. All the renewable energy technologies are covered under the policy: solar, wind, biomass, waste to energy, biogas, geothermal, hydrogen. So whatever policy so far we know, all of them can be facilitated under this policy. Next, please. Next. Current status is that we have 42 ARE projects in operation with a total capacity of 2,100 megawatt. 28 projects of wind megawatt, 1,435. Next slide. Another initiative which was started in 2015, NEPRA regulation and AEDB certification. So far, we have around 21,000 installed to install these systems. Next slide. Next. Prospects and opportunities. As we have heard, population in Pakistan is around 225 million, and the energy access in the country is only 88%. So we still have to provide electricity access to 12% of population, which is more or less 27 million people which need to be provided electricity. The annual per capita electricity consumption in Pakistan is one of the lowest, is only 550 kilowatt hour, and against the world average of 3,000. And if we look at the developing countries, it's much higher. So that actually gives the potential that how much we need to do in terms of bringing in new capacity and bringing in more efficiency to the power sector. In line with the Sustainable Development Goal, Pakistan actually intends to increase the ARE production, targeting 100% excess by 2030. So the areas where the grid is not there or the grid is not feasible because of thin population and scattered population, we plan to actually electrify, provide them electricity access through the mini grid or micro grid or some rooftop solar system. That is another. Then the important thing is in Pakistan energy plan, power sector plan for the next 10 year, IGSAP, we don't have any new fossil fuel or coal-based power plant. we are focusing more and more on the hydro and the renewable energy. Take it to 30% electric vehicles by 2030, which will also add to the demand for the electricity. Uh, Similarly, the self generation is also being encouraged. So people who want to actually go off the grid and generate their own electricity, they are also being encouraged through the, as I said, in the wholesale electricity market is being set up. Next slide, please. This puts up the targets for the RE. We want to take this current capacity of 40,000 megawatt to 48,000 megawatt by 2025 and 61,000 megawatt by 2030. This information is available on AEDB website also, and on the NEPRA, which is the National Electric Power Regulatory Authority website also. So details are available. So if we look at the second table, our targets are actually to bring in 10,000 megawatt of RE through wind and solar projects, which is starting from 2024. It starts with the 1,000 megawatt of wind and 1,000 megawatt of solar. So this target actually takes 10,000 megawatt this year. Next slide. In the future plan, development of wind and solar hybrid projects with or without battery storage. So that's what we are looking at. We are carrying out a study in the feasibility on the hybrid options. Similarly, we are looking into the solarization of 29,000 grid connected agriculture tube well in the province of Balochistan. That is also at the study stage. Then we are also looking at the ARE based solution for the 9 districts of southern Balochistan. This is area wise. Balochistan is the largest province of Pakistan, but it has the lowest population and scattered population. So the grid connectivity is very low. So we want to serve this area through the solar installations. Potential of hydrogen is also on the agenda exploration, and development of pump storage hydropower project at suitable site. This is the area I think where Austria has huge expertise in terms of pump storage. While we are looking at massive induction of the RE energy as a backup storage, obviously the pump storage is a very good option. So we to basically look into with the Austrian companies and investor that what could be done together. Next slide. Opportunities for investment, that is the large scale RE projects for which the auctions will be conducted. Then the development of ARE project based on new technologies. Current policy allows the projects on new technologies without competitive bidding process. So the good, so we can go to the new technology. Like we have received some proposal on waste to energy, some proposal on CSP technology for the solar power generation. So that is the area we would like to look at to bring in the new technology and efficiency in the system. Development of pump storage hydropower projects, as I mentioned, is there. Local manufacturing of RE equipment and hydro power equipment, that could also be looked at, because Pakistan has huge hydro potential, and only 13% of that has been exploited so far. In the other organization, which is called the Private Power and Infrastructure Board, we're doing about 6,000 megawatt of hydropower projects through the private sector. So some of the projects are under construction, some of the projects are at award stage. So that is another area where Austria has quite a strong ground and expertise. So that is the area we can look at. Similarly, you are also meeting the chairman WAPDA, so they are doing a huge project, and many Austrian companies are already working in Pakistan. Development of distributed generation ARE projects, the mini grid and micro grid, that we plan to do mostly in the public-private partnership mode. So that there are also the other opportunities which are come up. So these are generally the potential opportunities. In terms of hydropower development, As I said, we have around 6,000 megawatt of hydropower projects which are being developed in the private sector. So in next coming years, we'll certainly be advertising the new projects and hydropower projects opportunities. And uh, you have raised it actually from the Chinese, but as far as we understand, basically, we have procurement rules which provided equal opportunities to all the countries and all the companies. But if you have some specific issue and specific example, we'll be certainly happy to look at that and we'll see what best could be done. So if there is some area where you think improvement is required. But as we know, even the Chinese companies, which are the contractor or EPC contractor or supplier on some of the equipments in the hydropower projects, they are also using the critical equipment made in Austria, like the runners and these type of equipment. So still, I think there's a lot of scope for the Austrian company. So I stop here. Thank you very much for patient listening. If you have any questions, so I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you very much, Shah. One last quick presentation. One last quick presentation by Mr. Waqas Qureshi, CEO, Transatlantic. Qureshi sir.
Thank you, Austrian community and all the business delegation for coming here. We really appreciate for you visiting Pakistan. I think it's an honor for Pakistani investors and Pakistani government that such a great auspicious delegation has come to Pakistan. I'm Waqas Qureshi. I'm the developer for Transatlantic Energy, which is a 48.3 megawatt wind power project. We would like to present this project to the Austrian delegation to see what is their appetite for Pakistan. This project fits right into Mr. Shahjahan Mirza's presentation earlier because this is a wind power project which kind of goes up into the government of Pakistan's goal towards Paris Agreement, whereby we are looking to reduce our carbon to credits over the next 10 years by 2030. We expect this carbon dioxide reduction in two ways in Pakistan. One is through natural resources by building 10 billion trees in Pakistan over the next 10 years. And secondly, by enhancing the energy mix of Pakistan, where Pakistan wants to go up to 60% in renewable energy. That includes affair of renewable energy. So I will quickly like to share about the wind power project that we are developing. Can we go to the next slide, please? Yeah. Okay. I'll just. Basically, the rationale of the project is to basically promote Pakistan's SDG goals, goals 7, 8, 9, in line with 2030 agenda. This project decarbonization. It benefits in Pakistan through earning CER trading credits. Basically, we promote in. It also helps in reduction in importing fuel because the cost, as you can see, the world globally is going on a higher cost on the fuel side. So this really helps Pakistan when we focused on that side. It reduces our dependence on coal and other furnace fuel. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. The project is 48.3 megawatts. The capacity factor is 37.1%. It saves about 89,000 carbon credits. The power purchaser for the project is Government of Pakistan's purchaser department, which is CPPA. We are planning to put up Vestas turbine of about 3.45 megawatts. The project is based in Champir. It's going to be put up on a 350-acre land. Next slide, please. The project expected cost is about $58 million, out of which 80-20 is debt equity. So equity is about $11.65 million and remaining $40 million is debt. Next slide, please. We have filed a tariff of 4.3 cents with NEPRA. We looking at a debt term for foreign debt of about 13 years and a local term of 10 years, which is going to be backed by State Bank. Project expected return by NEPRA is 12%. Investment required for the project equity side is $11.6 million. Project life is 25 years, and land is leased from the government of Sindh for 30 years with a 30-year extension. Next slide, please. Circle is where this project land is. That's where this project is going to be put up. Next slide, please. We got a LOI from the ADB in 2016, apologies. We got a generation license in 2017. We got power evacuation certificate from CPPA back in 2019. We have filed for the tariff in February 2021. We have applied for a generation license modification in February 21. We've gotten the NOC from NTDC earlier in 2021. And we have recently gotten the revised feasibility study approval from ADB in February 2022. The project is being funded by Faisal Bank. Our advisor to the project are some of the top financial sector consultant and renewable consultant, Bridge Factor and RE2 in Pakistan. Vestas is the turbine supplier, and Power China is the EPC contractor for the project. The project is sponsored by 3 different groups: Transatlantic Capital, Miskatia Group, and Marcor Energy. Next slide, please. I'll just run you quickly through the feasibility study of the project. It's being built on flat and hard rock area. The geographical condition are basically the surface soil condition is very high, clustery. The site does not require any special consideration for burial works. We will have a 132 kV power line that will come to the project and pick up the power from the subgrid of the project, substation of the project. There's no significant environmental hazard in the site. Next slide, please. The project management is Pervez Qureshi, who's the chairman. I myself, Waqas Qureshi, the CEO. We have 2 more directors, Ali Miskatia and Shariar Nawabi, who are the management of the project. Next slide. The project is sponsored by 3 groups. One is Cross Capital Holding, which is myself and our family. Miskatia Group, which has been in Pakistan for the last 30 years in the business of manufacturing textile and other FMCG products. Marcor Group, which is investment of Ali Lakhani and Mr. Ashraf Nawabi, who are one of the prominent leading industrialists in Pakistan. And Mr. Ashraf Nawabi is based in, is a senior ex-banker and based out of project helps in reduction of carbon credit by saving 89,000 tons of carbon credit. It will provide help to outside villagers in the area for about 200 people by providing them schooling, jobs. We will build wells in the neighboring region so that we can help promote basically the livelihoods of the neighboring villages. Over the life, we expect 600 people to get employed through the project. The lifetime of the project, about 2,100 people will benefit from this. Next slide, please. Sorry. So these are the milestones that have been achieved by the project. All the feasibility studies have been completed. All the major approvals like grid connectivity approval, feasibility study approval, EIA approval, NTDC approval, all have been already been given by all the relevant government departments. We've applied for the modification of generation license as we have changed some technology. And we have also applied for the tariff for the project that we expect in the next 3 to 6 months to come. Next slide, please. We're expecting, this is a tentative date for the project milestones. We expect the tariff of the project to be awarded in the next 2 to 4 months. We expect the LOS to be signed somewhere mid-22. We are expecting CPPA and IA to sign the PPA by mid to end 2023. We are expecting the financial close in mid-2023, and from there, about 15 months for the COD of the project. But this timeline is not final. Normally, with the governments, normally these timelines do extend. So we will inform as we go along. Next slide, please. Project risk. So I will just highlight two main risks. One is the financial risk, which is normally in terms of interest rate, foreign currency, exchange rate, and inflation. Payment risk is normally covered through the government sovereign guarantees that is provided by the government. So in this case, it will be CPPA and ADB who will provide the sovereign guarantee to the project. Next slide. Just to end the basing the strength, it's a POO project which has all the approvals of all the studies, grid approvals done, CPP approval is done. It's a bankable project with government guarantee behind it. We have filed for a 4.3 cent tariff with NEPRA for a 25-year project life. NTDC has already made it part of the committed project of their vision of 2021 and 2030. So it fits right into the goal of government of Pakistan. We are using 3.45 megawatt technology of Vestas, which is the size of turbine which has not been used before in Pakistan. So we are hoping with that we can achieve a lower O&M cost and reduction in terms of construction of the project. Next slide, please. Thank you so much. We hope we can inspire to act and we act to inspire. Thank you very much for the delegation. And we hope any questions you have, please happy to answer.
Thank you very much, Qureshi Saab. So while we play a short video, while we wait for the video, we are also waiting for our chairman to give you some souvenirs. So please hang on for 5 minutes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Hassan Daud. I'm the CEO of the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Board of Investment, and on behalf of the government of our province, the Chief Minister, the Minister.
Thank you very much. Can I now request Honorable Chairman, Board of Investment, to present souvenirs to Austrian business delegation? Aye, sir.
Let me just thank you on behalf of the Austrian Federal Economic Chamber. Sorry to interrupt the procedure. I would just like to thank you for this warm welcome, the fantastic presentation. Normally, we organize conferences of that kind that are extremely difficult to organize because all the setup, the technical equipment you brought, we know what you have done here. So really, congratulations. This is quite impressive. We did not really expect it. We thought we'd do a casual exchange of views, but you guys really made a party for it, out of it. And thank you again, and good luck to Pakistan and to your endeavors. And we will try and
Please join us for tea outside. Thank you.
बाबू खैर